All right, what is up, YouTube? M40. We're going to be plowing through a couple of very interesting decks coming out of this weekend. Of course, if you guys have anything that you always do well with, I always recommend sending them on over on Facebook. Might be a little bit delayed in getting through these because just how many we have, but alas, sharing information is what we like to do. So, I'll be looking at Victor Jimenez Young Hero List. Now, Victor is no stranger to the Zodiac tournament. I've seen him literally in our last two top cuts. And this guy does fantastic work with this deck. Did well last 2 months, actually, with OCG and TCG format. So, let that sink in that this guy knows what he's doing with this deck. And he got top 8 out of the California Regional with this. So, we have one Destiny Hero Celestia, one copy of Dynatag, triple copies of Malicious, one copy of Plasma, one Honest Neos, two copies of Shadow Mist, one Solid Soldier, triple copies of Stratos, one Adjusted Gold, triple copies of Faris, and two copies of Increase, along with two copies of Vion, wrapping up the monsters. Spells, we have one Hero Lives, triple copies of Allure Darkness, one Dark Hauling, two copies of Emergency Call, triple copies of Destiny Fusion. This is our Fusion Destiny. It's probably the best card that this deck actually has going for it, at least in today's current metagame. Like, this card is bonkers good. We have triple copies of Mass Change, one copy of Poly, one Reinforcement Army, triple Super Poly, and one Upstart Goblin, wrapping up this list. So interesting enough here, Super Poly seeing more play in Heroes isn't a bad thing. You need more ways to break boards, and you're going to have to pick your options because your extra deck's so tight, but Adoration and Diplex are going to be your two best rounded targets here. And in the extra deck, we have one Wonder Driver, one Dread Decimator, two Cross Crusader, one Trinity, one Adoration, one Starving Venom, two Darklaw, one Blast, one Anki, one Malicious Bane, one Diplexer, one Dystopia, and one copy of Dangerous Guy. Actually seeing some love here for Dangerous Guy. It's pretty good. Inside deck here we have triple Drawn Lockbird, triple Dark Ruler No More, triple Secret Village, triple copies of Twin Twister, and triple copies of Red Reboot, wrapping this up. This is some interesting love here for this, actually. Interesting tech choices out of this, though. Excuse me, these are supposed to be exchanges. I'm bad at this. So, the thing was, he would use exchange and take cards out of his opponent's hand. And by doing so, you take your opponent's Nibiru. And by actually eliminating the broken cards out of your opponent's hand, you'd actually put yourself in a better situation. That way you could Nibiru your opponent back, or take any sort of, really detrimental hand trap they might have against you. Exchange was really good for the grand scheme of what he was going for. So there's that. Alright, next list we have here. We have some Thunder Dragons out of New Zealand. I was PM'd by the Duelist that did well with this. And he was like, hey, Abby, can you cover this? I was like, well, sure. I mean, it's still Thunder Dragon. I'm not opposed to this. But this deck does still pretty much do the same thing it's been doing. So we have triple copies of Aloof Lupin, one copy of Artifact Scythe, triple copies of Phantasme, triple copies of Thunder Dragon, triple copies of Thunder Dragon Dark, two Thunder Dragon Doe, triple copies of Dragonhawk, triple copies of the Dragon Matrix, triple copies of Dragon Roar, and then triple Lord Darkness, one Gold Sark, and triple copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. Seeing maximized numbers for Fusion is very interesting, though being able to resolve multiple of these in a single duel will definitely put you in a lot better of a position. This card is definitely there for more of the grind game or tutoring for the Rota, depending on, honestly, what you find yourself needing. In the traps here, we have two copies of Sanctum, triple copies of Infinite Impermanence, two copies of Dynamiscus, and then we have two copies of the Trap Trickerino. Down here in the extra deck, we have one Summoner, some Summoner, yeah. We have one Linkuriboh, one Unicorn, one Phoenix, and one IP. This card is actually not, it's good, but like, I don't know. You're just going into an interruption. We have one Borreload, one copy of number 68, one Dingrisu, triple Titan, triple Colossus, and one copy of the Starving Venom Fusion Boy. And then side deck here, two Rocky Boy, two Mind Control, two Super Poly, two System Down, triple Twin Twister, two copies of EV, and two copies of Summon Limit, wrapping up the New Zealand Thunder Dragon list. for you guys. I know it's not the best round, but it's still something, is it not? And the next up here, we have a going second Trickstar list that ended up doing relatively well. This deck qualified, got its invite. The duelist was talking to me. He was like, this deck goes second. We break boards. It's everything that we want to do. And I'm like, all right, cool. Like, you play through large amounts of negates, and then you wow your opponent. Your opponent's like, wow, they beat me. That's literally how this works. Like, you think when you play against something like this, you build your board going first, and your opponent breaks it, you're just like, wow. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 copies of Eater of Millions, triple copies of Phantasme Boy, 2 copies of Blue Sky, 1 Indigo Eclipse, 2 copies of Purple Nightfall, along with triple Candina, 1 Coralbane, and 2 copies of Licorice. Spells, we have 2 Cosmic Cyclone, triple copies of Hadouken, 2 copies of Mind Control, 2 Necro Valley, triple copies of Pot of Desires, triple copies of Super Poly, and 1 copy of Trickster Light Stage. Maybe someday we will get multiple copies of this card back. Trap board, here we have triple break a board, triple stop a board, and just 1 singular copy. So you have to understand, you don't really use this card to decimate your opponent's hand. You're using this to revive from the graveyard, more so than anything now. This card's general purpose isn't as good as it once was. It's still a very good card, though. Now, with that being said, this card is still good, but it's not as good as it once was in retrospect here. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 copy of Diveritas. So it's 2 Trickstar monsters that are level 3 or lower. You can only control 1. If card is special summon, you can ping your opponent for 200. And then your opponent normal or specials pinged for another 200. This is kind of is flashy for time and can get you places if really need be. Then we have 1 Abermax, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Hipposhigin, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Borreload, 1 Akashic Magician, 1 Dingrisu, 1 Trinity, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Violet Chimera, 1 Dragostapalia, 1 copy of Mud. Side deck here we have 2 copies of Denko Rekka, triple copies of Twin Twister, triple Crackdown, 2 Imperial Iron Wall, 2 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and triple copies of There Could Only Be One in the fundamental break-a-board metagame. Very interesting to say the least. I don't know what else there is. Necro Valley is a very interesting tech choice, literally going first or second. This card is really good. I mean, it stinks when it gets cosmic, but I mean, that's just life. Outside of that, you have so many ways to break a board, you know, built into the main deck here. Additional advantage off of the Mech Knights. Like, you shouldn't have an issue doing what your deck wants to do in the grand scheme of things. Also, shout out to having Trinity in here as a super poly target. This man's a genius. I love this. And the last deck we have here is a Trap Trick deck that ended up getting its invite. I wanted to just cover this because it's Trap Trick. Like, following the general progress of this deck is what we like to do. So we have triple copies of Myra Melio, triple copies of Mantis, triple copies of Dianea with 1 Atrax, 1 Nepenthes, triple Nibiru, and triple copies of Phantasme Boy. And then spells here, we have triple Super Poly and 1 copy of Double or Nothing. Cha-ching, just standard OTK generator. Like, if we've seen anything, Magical Musketeers and the Trap Tricks deck, the reason why they're doing good right now is because Utopia Double is one heck of a card. Traps, we have triple Shade Brigade, triple Imperm, triple Compulse, triple motherfucking Waboku, by the way. The best OG trap card in the game. Like, kudos to playing this. The OG of OG. Chainable, by the way. Protect your monsters. So beautiful. We have 2 copies of Lost Wind, 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, 1 Trap Tricks Trap Hole Nightmare, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, and 1 copy of the Network Trap Hole. Down here in the extra deck, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Time Thief Reader, 1 Utopia Lightning, 1 Utopia Double, and 1 Utopia, along with 1 Dragostapalia, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, 1 Cerberus, 1 Pentastag, and then triple copies of Sarah. Side deck here we have 1 Diplexer Chimera, triple Pankratops, 1 Warning and 2 Steerike, along with 2 Dynamiscus, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Dimensional Barrier, wrapping up this chunk of deck profiles for everybody. So, what do you guys think about these? Do you see something you want to test here? for the rest of the year's metagame, please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. And, well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Make sure you're subbed to the channel, too, for more updates. Peace. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a Truffle Shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out VanCole40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.